slash Mothman.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk
Um,
about Mothman.
we could talk about Mothman. Mothman,
I've,
crazy, bro.
yeah, I've heard nothing but good things that people are very scared of this Mothman.
They just they. It's one of those things where like, why so many cards are worded like specifically so that like you're not popping off too hard, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
Mothman makes it so that when you mill, it does the thing. It's a one or more kind of trigger instead
Mm,
of like a once a turn. So like
okay.
it now okay. So let's think of this very ideal. This would be such an ideal start, but it can happen. So you go forest, hardened scales. Turn two, um, winding constrictor. Turn three, branching evolution. Turn four, Mothman. Everybody get a rad. The first person that mills now, you're getting like 8 counters on Mothman. One like that's it. Off one mill.
Yeah.
Um, and now if for some reason you come back to your side, by that point you have a lethal Mothman, and you just kill
Yeah.
somebody on turn five. And now not and this is and I'm talking about what's in the deck in the precon. That's the precon. Hardened
Okay.
scales, winding constrictor, branching evolution, Mothman. That's just the precon setup.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like it gets really stupid. And so let's say instead of branching evolution turn three, instead it's Cameo the Whispered Hopes, the one that makes mana. So now on turn four, you play Mothman, and when you mill, instead you put your counters on the Kami, so that when it comes back to your turn, you're tapping for like 8 mana,
Mm,
and then you just power out your biggest beater or whatever, like on turn five. So like there's just a lot of things that I don't think like they realize by wording it that way that you were just gonna be able to do. I think it's probably one of the strongest like counter producers that we've seen, plus the fact that it's integrated with mill. So
yeah.
like that's what I think makes it so strong. It's that like the rad counters are good, but it's the mill payoff that he offers that is really good. All he needs is like actual ways to get in, because I grew him
He
quick
has
in all
fly.
games I've. Yeah, but
Right?
everybody's got flyers. Everybody plays flyers.
Not
Everybody.
exactly.
I
It doesn't
There
play
was
fly.
never a game in all games I've played, three or four now, I think, with it. Everybody had flyers every time.
Not the game that we played. I didn't have a fly. I might have had
Mm.
something with reach though.
But you killed it at one point or something.
No, John did. John.
Yeah,
John.
somebody did. Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody did. Yeah, I know that like
Man, that was a
that's
solid game.
and that's the and that's what I've noticed is like what Mothman's thing is like if you don't kill him, he'll kill you. You have to kill him quick. You really
He
have
would
to
be
like
killed.
it's one of those it's one of those dudes that you got to monitor like as soon as he comes out he's has a potential to like put someone at 21. You know, he's a 21 machine. He's just he got that thing on. And the fact that it's Mill, he's a very he's a formidable like if you can somehow get an infinite bounce loop, he's a great bounce loop, target
Mm.
because you just
Ooh.
friggin' yeah, like you just blink the hell out of them and give everyone a billion rad, and then you pass the turn and everyone mills their deck. Like you literally
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't matter about the mill, it's the also that they're gonna take the damage on the non-lands. So like
Mm-hmm.
they will die. Doesn't matter about like how many cards. They just have to have at least 40 cards in their deck. 40
Okay.
non-land cards.
Oh, that's every deck.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty easy.
Now got me thinking like cloning Mothman.
It's literally always the best idea. Like an extra Mothman, even if it dies. Oh, everyone gets another rad. Sure. I'll pay 3 mana for everyone gets a rad. Or 2 mana, everyone
Hmm.
gets a rad. 4 mana,
Like
everyone gets a rad. Like, sure.
yeah, Sakashima, and then Edric's Nev, like
Yeah, I have them
something.
behind me. I thought about it, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't put clones in, but like, yeah, you could play clones.
Man,
It's a great clone target.
hmm.
So like
I
it
kind
plays into all the things. And then okay, so this is another thing, right? Um what is sultai amazing at? Reanimation. It's one of the best like 3 color pairings for reanimation. So if you just want to do that, he enables it. You see what I
you have
mean? Like,
Tasigur in there.
no,
Tasigur.
I have a Tassiger, but I didn't put him in. Old banana man. I should. I don't know. You know what it is with Tassiger is that obviously like the delve, it's 6. I don't like delving.
Oh,
I don't like collect evidence. I don't like delving.
I
Maybe
don't like
collect
collect
evidence is
evidence.
fine because it's more like side, like you don't have to. Um, but I don't like delving. I don't be delving. How many times have I played a treasure cruise? Until I play Pauper and like have to play those colors, like I don't fucking do it. I don't like it. I
Yeah,
gotta
I
exile this
guess that
shit
makes
forever.
sense.
Fuck that. I love I how ev I play every deck has some sort of like bring a thing back from the grave to my hand. So like why would I delve shit away? Fuck
Yeah,
that. I'm getting it
yeah.
back. I'm gonna
Okay,
use it again.
you have a point there.
I don't need to pay 8 mana to draw 3 cards, Treasure Cruise. Fuck that. Um what's the thing? What was the other thing? So yeah, so he works for that. If you want to make an oops all spells deck, he's a perfect commander for it because he specifically wants you to mill non-lands. So if you make your deck where everything is a spell that's maybe a land on the back or something, like but you play no lands, that means all your mills are hits. That means you're guaranteed, every time you mill, you're getting a counter. You know what I mean? So he's probably one of the best Sultai commanders, like, period. Like I will see next year he will be number one. Like that's it, I think. Like this might be the best one in a long time.
A long time for sure.
It just enables all the things you want to do in those 3 colors.
I was going to say Modrotha, but she's been long gone. I
Well,
don't see her that much.
Mully, the hardest part with her is that you get no you get nothing until she has to
She's
stick.
out.
She has to
Yeah,
stick. So like
yeah.
it's 6 mana, people could just be waiting for the counter, you know? You don't have to respect it. Like whereas at least with Mothman, like if he ETBs, you get something.
Yeah, yeah.
He doesn't have to like I've lost
And
them
he's only
on
four
first
and has
rotation.
flying. Yeah,
Exactly. I've lost them on
yeah,
first rotation and been like, all right, but everybody got a red, right? You're gonna lose something cool. Awesome. I don't
yeah.
care. You know? Whereas Moljotha, I've with the homies, like my actual play group, you know how many times they'd wait for me to just like, yeah, hell yeah, make Lewis spend 8. Fuck that. I'll be like, okay, cool. Coast is clear. No, everybody waits because everyone understands that, like, oh, if I get just like 2 turns of the value that I've already been dumping into my graveyard, that's it. You know? Um, Sidisi was another big Sultai commander that I think like, yeah, Sidisi was good. She makes zombies, right?
Hmm.
That one.
Yeah.
But like eh, it's an activated ability, right? Like it's not a free thing. Um yeah, that's like kind of that's yesteryear. Um Dina and Zamone, while very good, that's another one where like, oh, I don't want them to do the thing, so let's just blow them up as soon as they come out.
Yeah,
You
I
know, they
had
don't
that
have
deck for a
Ward.
hot minute.
Right, you did, yeah. And they're good. But I know that like if we were just like focusing you on every time, like, oh, about to draw two cards on the stack, boom, peace. Um,
Yeah.
you know? And that's whereas like Mothman almost is like, go ahead, remove me. I'll just come back and give you another rat. And now and sometimes like you might not be able to attack. So sometimes the ETB is better. So it's like, yeah, you kill him and now I
You're
can
right.
proliferate. You know, like cool. Now my rad storm can do something again. You know, so it's one of those things where you're not as stuck with him as well. Um, and where like Moldrotha wants you to play permanents, he just says non-lands.
Yeah.
So it makes it so you can still play sorceries and instants and stuff. You don't have to stick to permanents. It feels good to stick to permanents because it's easier to bring back permanents from the
Mhm.
graveyard than it is just spells when you're not in red blue. But
Mhm.
um yeah, man, I don't know. I've been really enjoying it and I've been really noticing like then there's also like these synergies for insects. He's an insect.
Yeah.
Makes for a great insect commander. Like the Gugari insect payoffs are insane. So like he would
They
really
all
make
work with
for
the
a decent.
graveyard. Oh
Yeah,
man.
they do.
I want to play
They do.
that. I don't know if I want to build that, but I would play
And
that.
then there's also mutant synergies now because of this deck, but other stuff too that mention oh no, actually I think it's mostly from this deck. But Mass with Nexus. Like
Yeah.
there's definitely you could flavorfully do mutate on the mutants.
Oh, not with
Mothman and
Masswood
and
because it
no,
makes
not
it
with
permanent.
Masswood.
Okay.
No, not with Masswood. I'm talking about for just Mothman. Like
Okay.
you could mutate. He's a
Oh,
great
just
mutate target
yeah, he is.
because now you get all the mutate stuff plus your attack trigger from Mothman. Like then you change its base power to toughness. Like oh, it's too open. It's too good. It's too good. When it's this open, that's when it's best because then you're like, I'm not stuck in what. Like if I build one deck, I can really just pivot eventually down the line. Whereas like Moldrotha, yeah, you could play Spellslinger Moldrotha. Why would you do that?
That sounds not fun.
You
There's no
know,
point in
like
even thinking about that.
yeah,
Have you thought about
exactly. Like
playing?
okay, cool, do that. Now your commander like at that point, then you don't cast Moldrotha.
No,
Why would you?
not at
You're
all.
just in the
Have
colors.
you
You just wanted to play Sultai Spellslinger, like you know.
have you thought about putting her in Mothman,
Oh,
or
it's
does
in
she
there.
come in the deck?
No, she's
She
in there.
doesn't
I
come
put
in
it
the
in.
deck. Okay. Yeah, she should have
No,
come in there.
Moldrotha's not going in no precons, Curtis.
It should though. Like it was just reprinted. I guess
It
like
doesn't
last
matter.
year,
She's too
2 years
iconic.
ago.
At least not yet. Like we're still too far away from that.
Mm.
She's way too iconic. Which one was it? They put
Was it Tallran? Your man Tallran? Your boy?
no, that I expect. It wasn't in the 40K decks, and it wasn't Lord of the Rings because they never reprint any of the legendaries in those decks. I've noticed they don't reprint the legendaries. They only reprint the non-legendary things and spells. They give you new legendaries in Universes Beyond decks. We're never going to like remember that. If someone's like, "Oh, maybe they'll reprint blank," in the no, they don't do it.
You that is correct.
Yeah,
That is
they
correct.
literally they never do. I've noticed it. I'm like, oh, pitiless plunderer. Oh, the keeper of the accord with cool new art. And then I thought about it. I'm like, how would you reprint a Danitha,
Yeah.
even if it makes all the sense because she's not from that universe? Like, Explain
Yeah,
it. Make it make sense. They can
make
do a
it
lot
make
of shit, but they
sense.
can't do that. They can't just be like, she knows a guy at Ubisoft, like that's not gonna be how we ever do magic. Then because then that's Wizards admitting like, yeah, this game's a joke. We'll just toss things in, toss them out, whatever. You guys are fucking nerdy about that shit. Shut up.
Oh my god,
Like
that's
they can't
too
admit that.
funny. Oh man.